The Starlit Archives is the brand new ring it's around that released, and well, it's clearly the best area in the game. So today I'm going to do what every basic Ito YouTuber does when a new area releases, and that is ranking every tower from worst to best. Before getting into this video, huge spoiler warning for all the people that haven't beaten or played all the towers in this area and are looking forward to, since all the towers have a story and are pretty long, and it is highly and heavily recommended to have a fresh experience of all the towers in this area. So for everyone that wants to beat this area and haven't done already, please click off the video and watch it later. Also, since this is a ranking video, these rankings are obviously my own personal opinions, so if you disagree on some of these, then feel free to put your list on the comments. And note that most of the clips that you will see in this video are going to be from the practice plays or some other YouTubers like Ekbers or CRP, because since all the towers in this area are pretty much over 20 minutes long, I am not looking forward to redo the entire tower to get to a specific section for a 1 second clip. Anyways, with that out of the way, we can finally start with the rankings. Yeah, this tower isn't that good. On areas like these, when every tower is good, there just has to be that one that isn't good, and that is Steeple of Afterlife Detention. This tower overall is pretty bland and empty. There's nothing going on, the story is really basic but also confusing. You're at school and you sleep in class all to wake up on a distorted version of the school, and then you have to find 5 ghosts and that's it. And also the only source of gameplay in this tower is from the hallways, and it's the same thing over and over again. The ending is also really scuffed. After getting the 5 ghosts, the school turns into shambles by this weird creature that chases you outside. Then these walls close in on you to make you think that you're gonna fight him, but nope, it's just the credit scenes that roll so you get constantly attacked. The only good thing that I can point out from this tower is the puzzles, cause don't get me wrong, these puzzles are probably the most creative puzzles I've seen from this game. And I especially like this key drawing one and the French colonization, which I wish was accurate. Oh wait, my bad, I'm French. Either way, this Steeple is just mid at best. Yeah, I really don't know what to feel about this tower. It was good, it's just it was really confusing. This is a story that I understood the least because you just kind of go everywhere, but I would say that from floor 6 to the end, it was really good. Probably because you understand the story more with Connor and stuff. But other than that, the first half made me completely clueless and confused of the events that was happening. This Steeple is good, it's just that it isn't as good as the other Steeples in this area. I know a lot of people had their experience ruined from the bugginess of this tower, especially on the prison part, which I can understand. Certain sections aren't indicated well, but I still feel like it was a pretty nice Steeple to play through with a fun little silly story. Also, it seems that a lot of the towers in the Star Archives have prison parts for whatever reason, so I'm going to be rating all of them as they show up, starting with Steeple of Commune, which is a nice 6.5 out of 10. It was pretty solid, but since it was the most annoying part of the tower, I can't put it any higher. For some reason, I really did like this tower as much. To be honest with y'all, the story was great, I really liked it, and with the visual effects, it was fantastic. However, the gameplay is, interesting to say the least. The gameplay was pretty annoying, even more than some of the rems, and that's because the gameplay felt more like it was filler instead of being part of the story. Now, it may be because I fell a lot in this tower, but this is just how I feel about this tower. The ending is so sudden also. I really thought after our mission at the car when we were rebelling against our boss, we would actually fight him like it's some sort of boss fight, but nope, you crash into a random guy and die, and that's the end. Now, I'm aware about the other ending where you do kill the boss, but it's just a gunshot and that's it. No fight, no nothing. It's a really good tower though, it just feels pretty abstract, if you know what I mean. Now, I know, I hear you, Topla over Warranted Retribution is kinda crazy, but those classic towers are underappreciated. This tower for some reason was so fun to play through. I don't know why, but even though it was simple, it was just so fun to play through. And the characters that you would find to help them out really was fun. I especially like the desert biome since it had more stuff to do, and hey, at least it had a boss fight unlike some towers. It still is pretty low on the list because, well, there's obviously better towers than this one. I still, nonetheless, really liked it. Am I the only one that thinks this tower reminds me of Hello Neighbor? I mean, it has the flashback things when you fall and a house, but anyways, this tower was pretty good. I really like the story and the mechanics that were used in this tower and the orange Wumpus. There's also the tower that actually scared the hell out of me because of those goddamn keyholes, but hey, they were pretty cool to interact with. Also, the ending where you have a choice isn't really a choice. There is no separate ending, even though you pick the stressful part, so better take the safe path. Overall, it was a pretty fun tower to just play through. I really liked the vibes this Steeple gave. I mean, the experience was always intense, and I liked it because it was sort of a vibe that was very unusual in towers. This tower overall was a solid tower, the story was great, the gameplay was good, the design was nice, and the boss fights were cool. Nothing else to say, just solid Steeple. I fully expected this Steeple to be the Tower of Mag 9 of the Sorrel Archives, to just kind of fill in the spots, but no, it was really good. The story was basic, but they managed to interpret it in such a nice way. While you're cooking your noodles at 2 a.m., parts of your house lead you to some insanely cool worlds with really cool mechanics and gameplay. It was a very nice experience overall, even though it was short, and I loved it. This felt pretty basic at first because it started slow, but after you got to the tower magically got good, and I had a blast playing through it. The client objects introduced throughout the tower were really good and cool to use, and the final stretch was so fun as well. You also get to profit of this amazing view at the end of the tower, and it was overall a very fun experience. I swear, those silly towers always end up being the best because this steeple is so good, and I mean it. You sure can get pretty annoying from the first 3 floors, but from the bosses to the end, which by the way are so creative and cool, I just really liked it. There's also a prison part of this steeple which looks annoying at first, but after figuring out what to do, it became my favorite part of the tower, I'm not even joking, which makes it an immediate 10 out of 10 on the prison beat. The cool thing about the boss is that you take advantage of the arena, and that makes you avoid attacks on a singular platform, which was so sick to play through both boss fights. Overall, fantastic tower to play. Now, the two hardest steeples of the area were pretty punishing compared to the other towers, but that doesn't stop them from being absolutely amazing. Sure, I might have died a couple times at the final stretch, but it still didn't ruin the experience. The story was basically you got the heritage of your father, which was the mountain, that you had to climb to prove your worthiness, and throughout the tower, especially the final stretch, you play with your emotions, thinking about if this is a good idea in the first place. Just like Celeste. Which I doubt the steeple is inspired by Celeste, but overall it was a very structured and organized steeple with a little prelude that you get to kind of get the context of why you're climbing this mountain. And it would have been 10 times better if this was a tower, because if it was, it would make Tower of No Return look like a small rock compared to that thing. The final stretch was also one of the coolest final stretches I've ever witnessed in a tower. I mean, the epic music and its sync, as well as the final stretch just to itself, the atmosphere and dialogue scenes were amazing to experience. I can't express how much I like this tower because even though it was all out of the places, it was easy to understand the story, and those worlds that you just traversed were done so well, unlike Tofi. Near the end, you join this group of people to get out of this earth, however, with hesitation, you don't press the button, and after a moment of discussing, you fight the most epic boss the world has seen. I mean, just look at this. After this, you join your friend on a heli to get you out of here, but the story gets left in suspense, which is actually the only turn to do that, so cool I guess. But honestly, I wish this boss was longer, because that might have been the best boss in the game if it was longer. Overall, amazing tower to play. Yet another silly tower that made it to the top 4. I actually died at all those possible spots you could have died to in the Steeple, but same thing here, it didn't ruin the experience. This is probably the best story and most creative tower if Toad22 didn't exist, because oh my gosh, this was so fun to play through. You're basically working at Vinny's pizza place, realizing that he's an absolute psycho for killing the workers that fail an order. So you report this to the police with the owner of another pizzeria on the surface, which you join, and after some technical difficulties, you challenge Vinny to a cook-off, which was just collecting the ingredients throughout the house since it was rigged from the start. It was still a pretty fun final stretch though. It would have been cool if still to have a cook-off, which I was really excited about, but I understand that would be really difficult to do so and don't know how to do it too. There's also a prison part in this tower, which was short but cool to figure out, so I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. Also, funnily enough, there was a good amount of cheese, which I'm showing on the screen right now in this tower, so yeah. On to the top 3, which are actually my 3 favorite towers in this game. I'm not even joking, this was one of the first of the 3 towers I played in this area, and after playing it, it immediately became my favorite tower in this game. This tower looks like it's going to be basic with a simple story, and I was actually not expecting much from this tower, but the things that you go through are just so good, and it keeps just getting better and better the more you advance through the tower. I think this tower actually has the best music and music choice in this game, because I mean just hear this music in this background that levitated into my playlist. The boss was also insanely good, and the choice at the end made it even better. It's also kinda crazy that the time in the tower actually fitted with the time that I played this tower. Like by the time I got to the boss, I got to work. 30 minutes also passed I realm, which is shockingly cool. This is also the time that I realized that Flamingo made this tower, which honestly I'm not even surprised, because this tower fits perfect with the quality that he spent in his videos. I saved these last 2 towers for last on my TSA journey because they were the longest and I heard only good things about these towers, and I mean, it's true. Starting with Tower of Lethean Recollection, a story about you trying to recollect your memories throughout a dream, where you are in your home looking at every single item that allows you to regain your memory, and that you witness back by playing them. With these memories, you go through your life as a student seeking for academic success, but most importantly, your life with her, where you go through the most you had ever lived because or thanks to her. At the end, you face reality and regain all your memories and your sense of colors that you also progressively regain with memories you regain. That's a lot of regain. All I'm saying is that this tower was a movie to itself. It really didn't feel like I was playing a tower but more watching all the events, probably because of the voice, because yes, they do have a voice acting for almost every single character in this tower, and I just loved it. I mean, no one is shocked about this one. This tower is the best tower in the game, and it literally is perfect. If Tower of Lethean Recollection is a movie, then Tower of the Umbrella User is 3 dimensions ahead, cause holy crap, this tower is perfect. Instead of living parts of your life, you live the entirety as an adult working for Towers Inc. and gets progressively bored and burnt out of this life. You find out about your new drug, which is the Umbrella, that teleports you into a completely different world that is so vibrant and that you love, but unfortunately, it doesn't let you escape from the reality. So you keep using it until you get addicted to it. Because of this, you get fired from your job, but while walking home from this desperate news, you get a gift from Olavila, the person who works at the reception of the building. So you have a brief moment of talking with her in the umbrella world, until she rips the umbrella out of you because of your addiction and makes you go through the nuclear solar world, also known as Floor 9, but also known as being the laggiest you have ever been on a Lego game, to finally get you out of this addiction. She picks you up, give up the umbrella, and live with her to pay rent easier. Absolute sentiment. The story, the gameplay, creativity, of course, it's perfect, but also the design, because look at this. This makes Soul 9 look like freaking PSX graphics, and the color usage is one of the best I've seen out of literally anything. I literally fell in love with this tower just like the user fell in love with the umbrella. Like, what? Those last 3 towers are towers that I genuinely will replay sometime in the future, which is something I never do because of how good those towers are. I forgot to mention the music of Tower of the Umbrella Users and Tower of Lethean Recollection, but I mean, you already know at this point. Overall, this has been one of the best things I've played, I'm not even joking. Anyways, the yapping session is finally over. It was really hard to rank these and figure out which was above 1 or the inverse, so please bear in mind list. Anyways, I don't want to make this video longer, so